Amanda Ronson, welcome to the 7-minute spotlight of Citizen Cafe. And I'm so excited to have you because you're a bit of a special guest for me because I've known you for like 25 years. But I want to start by everybody getting to know you. What does Amanda Ronson do? Who are you?
I've been in Israel for quite a while. I'm a healer. I'm a teacher of consciousness. I initially came here and was working in fashion with Castro. I opened Topshop in Israel. I was in that world, but it was never really my world. And I was so interested in healing and the understanding of religions and philosophy.
When I say consciousness teacher, just give me a bit of an idea if I don't know anything about it. What do I do when I learn with you?
We call it active mindfulness now because it's not just like, oh, I meditate, it's all fine. It's not like I just sit there and it's all going to be beautiful and lovely, or let's just be positive and it's all fine. What we're doing is, in short, my alchemy healing method got so developed in its time to actually end up as a trauma therapist because we get to the root of your blocks in your energy, which was created by trauma, and we remove them and reprogram them. And this can work for disease, emotional disorders. So I'm working with people with myriad of emotional disorders.
What do you focus on today in a world that's so full of trauma in Israel specifically? Does it become a little bit more practical when it comes now to you have so many people to deal with? Do you work any
Well,
projects that we should know about?
yes, I'm in the process of trying to make many meetings across the country and trying to get these things implemented, which has already started with Bet Halochim, which is for the wounded soldiers, with United Hatzalah to try and bring it in. And we have an organization in Israel called Emotion Aid, which I'm actively involved with to try and get this implemented into the school systems. Because I also sit on a board of schools called DACA, and we're trying to get all of these implemented across the country so that we can start moving people out of high cortisol. Because your body, if it's going to stay in high cortisol, is going to be in a lot of danger of many diseases. And we're seeing already an increase in autoimmune diseases.
Was there something that captured you about Israel when you arrived?
What I liked about Israel the most was the Hebrew, that, we had our language here and we were not foreign per se. We were Jewish and we had a place. And I
Mm,
felt like
mm.
living in England, I could always see you're not English, you're Jewish. The English see you as Jewish. So I didn't want to be in a minority. I felt that created weird behaviors being in a minority group. For instance, people kept together. It's back to that shtetl mentality where everybody was grouped together and they felt safe together. And I found that was very strange because it made you very like blinkered. And I never liked that. And I didn't feel it was right. So I felt that the answer was to live here, educate your children here, make them multicultural. When the world goes into a really bad situation, your children can live anywhere in the world because who knows what will happen to the wandering Jew. But at the end of the day, this is our homeland.
And your kids are pretty amazing. So I can tell you that you've done an amazing job. I want to talk a little bit about Hebrew because when I started Citizen Cafe 10 years ago, there was one thing that you said to me. Don't talk to me about Hebrew. I've been here for many years. It ain't happening. And then about a year or two ago, you called me and you said, it's time. And since then you've been to quite a few courses. So share with me a little bit about what was the trigger to start learning. And what was your whole relationship with Hebrew beforehand?
Okay, I've been to every open in the country, okay, when I got here. I really, really tried. And I have word processing disorder, and I have ADHD, and I have probably many other disorders to add to that too. I had a horrific connection to education as a child. I went to a very advanced school because they'd tested my IQ when I was a kid. And so I went to the top school for gifted kids, and wow, that was a nightmare because of my disorders. I failed English, okay? I failed French. I failed Latin. I mean, it was a nightmare. And I had said, if I'm going to stay living in Israel, I've got to release the language. I lived here without the language.
I've seen you. You maneuver everybody in English. It's almost like you really don't you've mastered your life without Hebrew. And I think that's
Listen,
also what surprised me.
the only thing was, how can somebody like not speak the language? So, and then I thought about it. If I'm crap at it, it doesn't matter. Like, who cares? I'm crap. At least I'm trying.
What's the one thing that you couldn't do before, for example, that you feel that you could do after taking a few courses?
Have these gorgeous children who had to do everything. They had to speak to the gas, they had to speak to the electricians, they had to speak to everybody. Now I do it. And because when you called and you say, "Do you speak English?" They're so lovely in the service industry of Israel that they just go, "No." Now they put the phone down. And you've been on the phone waiting for half an hour. So I was like, "Ani צריכה משהו עכשיו." You know, so you become commanding in it and you just come out and say it.
Tell me a little bit about the class experience. Tell me a little about your teacher.
It's like Kita Aleph. So you go in, you ask a kid something, and it's on repeat. So even if you're a dumb idiot like me in language, and believe me, you couldn't be worse than me in language, they would get to you and you have to throw it out, throw it out. And they don't have time to think. They ask you a question, you have to say it. Ask the question, you have to come and reply fast, reply fast. And I see even now, you know, when people come to me in the street and they'll ask, reply straight away. And I never could do that before because I'm not
Wow.
thinking. It would just became much easier at a restaurant. I can't be bothered to say, "Do you speak English?"
What was your highlight in Citizen Cafe?
All my day, I'm treating people. I'm looking after people. I'm doing everything for people. And when I'm at Citizen, I'm not in charge. I don't have to care. And that's it. I could be a kid again in the good sense. I mean, it was fun. It turned into fun for me.
What's the one thing that you love most about Israel?
I think people here live. I think maybe when you face death and you need to be on the edge of everything, you live. And there's something about the way that people are full of energy and the way they live. It's life. Chaim, life. You know? You feel it. People are alive because of everything. I think people are alive and they've had their real shit kicked out of them and not with the belief that necessarily we can get out of it because of what's happened with the government and the war. But at the same time, they find hope, they help everybody, they are there for everybody. I mean, even Citizen was there for everybody in the war. And it's something that is so inspiring and so beautiful. And you know, I was out the country a bit, but you know, when you're back here, this is home. Now, even if I'm not speaking fluent language, you know, but this is home. You know, this is the life these are the people.
Beautiful. Amanda Ronson, thank you so much.